Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Thank you. Cool. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that we are in open session. I would now like to invite our party president, Sylvia Wood, to address the...
Well, hello, Northern. What a beautiful day, and what a great way to spend it at our Northern Regional Conference. Welcome to our Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Christopher Luxon. Great to have you here, and thank you for your absolute commitment to improving the lives. A superb job in hugely challenging times. Thank you to our host, Northern Regional Chair Grant Knight. A big year of selections, boundary changes and work on campaign readiness. Thank you for your leadership this year, Grant, your tireless work across the party's biggest region. It's been exemplary. And I extend a warm welcome to Dean Percy, our Canterbury Westland Regional Chair, who joins us today. Grant, Dean and our other regional chairs do phenomenal work. It's voluntary, sometimes thankless, and absolutely vital. Look after them. They are the living treasures in our party. Thank you also to our regional leadership team, Chloe Masters, Mark Davis, Alex Phone, Brendan Lama, George Gillard, Anthony McGivern, Gloria Tam-Yant, Elizabeth McEwen, for your support of Grant and the Northern region. Thank you to our Northern electorate chairs and your teams, our campaign chairs and your campaign committees. You're vital in providing the infrastructure that is our party throughout New Zealand and critical in this election year. Thank you, Shelley Pilkington. Now, Shelley's busy. I'm actually going to say this to her later when she's not counting ballots, but Shelley has made a major contribution to policy in the Northern region. Her commitment, energy and ability to work with people. She has done significant work in helping to embed our policy reforms. When I first joined the board, there were two burning issues, selection processes and policy development. The latter, often subject to enormous amounts of work, too often subject to pro forma responses and black holes, and remits had a life cycle of 12 months. Agendas at conference were squeezed, often seeing the hard work of members compromised. Not good enough. The board tackled those two issues. Those candidates and MPs here know today the rigour we apply to our selection processes, and our new policy process has been incredibly well received. Thank you, Stefan Sunday, our PCC chair, Shelley, the other regional policy chairs and our electorate policy chairs have done an excellent job of implementing our new process and aligning our party policy development work closely with the work of the Honourable Louise Upston that she leads in the parliamentary wing. What took 12 months now takes around 6 weeks. Our policy forums have real substance and are one of the launch pads for strong policy development. It's stunning work, and for those of us with a keen interest in policy, we thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth McEwen, for your role as Northern Super Blues Chair. Thank you and all our Super Blues for all you do. Let's aim to get the voter turnout of national supporters at the same level as people in their 60s and 70s, which is around 90%. Not bad for those of us in that demographic. To our Young Nats Chair, Laura Newman, thank you for your work in Northern, and to all our Young Nats, thank you for your energy and commitment. You are our X factor in campaigns. Welcome. Welcome Ryan Maguire, our incoming Young Nats Chair, and thank you for all you're doing and all you will do in election year. And lovely to see Caden Good, our Young Nats President. Caden and I go to all the conferences, so Caden has heard this before. But I'm so grateful to you, Caden. Our Young Nats are thriving, they're match fit for the campaign, and for the rest of us, our job is to look after them, feed them, help them with fuel costs. They too are treasures within our party and an amazing resource for our campaigns. To our SIG chairs, thank you for the work you're doing to strengthen our special interest groups. Kulwant Minnis, our National Indonats Chair, Daljit Singh Sidhu, our Northern Indonats Chair, and of course Kingsley Wong, our New Zealand Chinese Group Chair. Thank you for the significant contributions you make to our party. Thank you to our team of women in the Dame Hilda Ross Network in Northern. It was wonderful to see Daniel Parshotam, Andrea McCannon, Georgina Tucker and Amanda Perry of Northern at our Dame Hilda Ross Parliamentary Internship Program in November. Thank you Matt Paul and Grant McCullum for another great year of the Blue Greens, and thank you to the Northern Conference team for all your work in making today a success. And of course our members, our lifeblood, the core of our ground game in campaigns and every day. Thank you for everything you have done, you do and you will do. Whatever role we play in the party, we start as a member, and it's a great badge to wear. I know we all wear it proudly. Thank you to our head office team, led by our formidable CEO, Party Secretary and Campaign Director, Joe DeJoux. We have Chloe Masters, our Campaign Manager here. Thank you, Chloe, for all your work. Thank you, Tanya Jew and Redwin Islam, our regional coordinators, Katja Kershaw, and Ethan, I think, is with us for list ranking, maybe not this time. But you all work so hard across the region, particularly during selections. You go the extra mile daily, and we're very grateful for your sheer hard work, efficiency and support. We ask an enormous amount of our staff, particularly in election year, and my thanks for all you do. And we have a good board presence here today. Janita Polisi, Stefan Sunday, David Ryan from LNI in the House. Thank you for all you do. Much of the work the board does is unseen, and we're all acutely aware of the responsibility and the privilege of being your board representatives. This year we have lost a person of great stature, Dr. Lee Mathias, a pioneering leader whose impact on healthcare in New Zealand has been profound and enduring. Among many other roles, Lee was the founder of Birth Care and Lab Tests. As her great friend Cecilia Robinson said, Lee was one of those rare New Zealanders whose influence quietly but profoundly reshaped the country. Her death marks the loss of a true leader in healthcare and a woman whose legacy will continue to benefit generations. Cecilia also said, Lee didn't just open doors for you, she pushed you through them. What a wonderful accolade. We know Lee is a great National Party member who had the respect of us all, and as Sir Bill English said at her funeral, Lee had earned the right to be listened to by politicians. When Lee died so suddenly, there was an outpouring of heartfelt memories. So many women who Lee had supported and encouraged. Deep grief from her dear friends and a great sense of loss, we pay tribute to Lee Mathias. To our MPs, thank you. Firstly, I want to acknowledge the MP for Papakura, the Honourable Judith Collins. Judith has broken barriers, led with conviction, and never shied away from difficult decisions. Beyond the titles and portfolios, many will remember Judith's loyalty, sharp wit, generosity of spirit, and fierce dedication to the values we all share. And I couldn't possibly omit mentioning the power of the eyebrow. Judith has inspired countless members, candidates, and young women considering a future in politics and public life. We will honour Judith at our annual conference, and here in Northern, Judith, we thank you for your commitment and service to our great party. Thank you to our Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Christopher Luxon, MP for Botany, our Ministers, the Honourable Simeon Brown, Pakuranga, the Honourable Erica Stanford, MP for East Coast Bays, the Honourable Mark Mitchell, MP for Whangaparoa, the Honourable Simon Watts, MP for North Shore, the Honourable Chris Penk, MP for Kaipara, Ki Maharangi, the Honourable Cameron Brewer, MP for Upper Harbour, and the Honourable Dr Shane Wetty, MP for Whangarei. Apologies from the Honourable Paul Goldsmith, List MP based in Epsom. Goldie is in Dunedin for his daughter's graduation. It's the first regional conference in 15 years he has not attended, and I assured him he would be missed. For our MPs, Dan Bidwar, MP for Northcote, Paolo Garcia, MP for New Lynn, the Honourable Andrew Bailey, I think Andrew's an apology today, Dr Carlos Chung, MP for Mount Roskill, the Honourable Melissa Lee, List MP in Mount Albert, Grant McCullum, MP for Northland, Greg Fleming, MP for Mangakirkir, Nancy Liu, List MP based in Auckland, Rima Narkley, MP for Takanini. Please stand so we can all thank you for all you do. Just needed a quick drink. And our Northern candidates. Lalit Aria, candidate for Otahuhu. Rosemary Burke, candidate for Mangere. Lloyd Budd, candidate for Whangarei. I'll let you into the joke later, PM. Emma Chatterton, candidate for Papakura. Candice Kinzer, candidate for Auckland Central, Sunil Kumar, candidate for Glendine, Agnes Loheni, candidate for Waitakere, Gus Majid, candidate for Manarewa, Mahesh Marulada, candidate for Tamaki, Angie Nicholas, candidate for Henderson, Matthew Paul, candidate for Port Waikato. Please stand so we can acknowledge you. We have a superb party machine, which we hone and develop continually. This week, on the 13th of May, National turned 90. In 1936, our Liberals and Conservatives from the cities, the towns and the farms saw Reform and United join to become the National Party to reflect Liberal and Conservative values and stave off socialism. At conference in June, we will have a cocktail party to celebrate our 90 years, and on the 26th of September this year, the day before our campaign launch, we will hold a 90th dinner in Auckland to honour and celebrate the 90 years of our great party. Our job this year, our only job, is simple. run a world-class campaign and win well on 7 November. There is no doubt life is tough in New Zealand right now. We came into government facing a broken economy, and we set about fixing the basics, cutting wasteful spending, restoring discipline, and delivering real progress in trade. Our extraordinary achievement with the Indian FTA in the first term is a great example of that. Remember the reaction when our Prime Minister, then leader, promised that in the campaign? Well, our Prime Minister and the Honourable Todd McClay have delivered. What an achievement and what an extraordinary opportunity for New Zealand. The work in Singapore, strengthening our energy security and deepening this key relationship, these initiatives translate to growth, which means jobs, money for hospitals, schools and infrastructure, and the betterment of the lives of New Zealanders. We're tackling law and order thanks to the strong work of Mark Mitchell and Paul Goldsmith. We are delivering profound reform in education thanks to Erica Stanford. And we are removing the barriers to growth through Chris Bishop's RMA reforms. We're facing another shock, the war in Iran and the resulting fuel crisis hitting New Zealanders hard. But because we have been fiscally disciplined, we're in a far stronger position to respond. Our focus on the basics means New Zealand can weather this period of global uncertainty without putting our long-term future at risk. And it's equally clear that Labour have learnt nothing. They take no responsibility for the damage done, and given the opportunity, they would do it all again. This time reliant on the Greens and Te Pāti Māori. A coalition led by Labour would come at real cost for you, our children, our grandchildren, our communities and our country. So in a tight election, and we all know it will be tight, 3 things will make the difference. First, we stay true to National Party values. Limited government, individual responsibility, equal opportunity, strong communities, and a belief that if you work hard and contribute, you should get ahead. These values resonate with New Zealanders who believe in aspiration, who value effort, and who want to preserve what is best about this country while building something even better. Second, we campaign relentlessly for the party vote. We all want to see our MPs returned and our candidates be successful. But the vote that determines whether we can continue to govern, continue the work we have started, is the party vote for National. On 7 November, we must be the dominant party in government. That means more ministers round the cabinet table, the ability to drive the policies New Zealand needs, and the confidence to deliver bold reforms and restore economic growth, to build the future. I know you've heard this before, and I make no apology. This election on 7 November is critical. When you're talking with friends, family and colleagues who might be considering voting another way, there are a few important points to note. First, we've had a strong and stable government, and that comes down to the leadership of our Prime Minister and his ability to manage the coalition. Second, the reforms in education, fixing the RMA, restoring law and order, the work across trade, health, housing, infrastructure, energy and social development are being driven by a team of immensely capable national ministers. This is a team with the intellectual heft to take on big challenges. I don't see that intellectual heft in abundance anywhere else in our parliament. And that matters, because if we stay the course, If we keep that discipline and direction, we can lock in something New Zealand hasn't seen in a long time: sustained growth, year after year. So this election isn't just another choice, it's a critical choice to build our future. Third, and most importantly, we win on the ground. Elections are won by people. Voters back people they connect with. The single biggest difference we can make is having the strongest ground game. More volunteers, more conversations, more presence in our communities, on the doorsteps and on the phones. Every conversation matters, every effort counts. We need to be everywhere, talking to everyone and fighting for every party vote. We must win on 7 November. I have absolute belief that together we can do this, and that we will continue the work of the past 3 years, fixing the basics and building the future this country deserves. We can be the architects of sustained growth, bringing about a lift in New Zealand's fortunes that we've not seen in decades. The board and I will be with you every step of the way. Let's go out there, make it happen, win the party vote and win it well on 7 November. Thank you. And now it is my absolute pleasure to welcome our Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Christopher Luxon, to the stage.
Grab a seat. Hey, well, ka nui te mihi kia koutou, kia ora, good afternoon, everybody. Look, it is so good, and thank you for all of your support. But isn't it great to be back here together again at another Auckland Northern Regional Conference? It's awesome to see you here. Before I begin, can I just acknowledge a few members of our team? And it starts, first of all, with our amazing, our incredible party president, Sylvia Wood. What a great address, and more importantly, I wouldn't want anybody else leading the National Party in its 90th year than Sylvia Wood. So thank you, Sylvia, for everything that you do. Can I acknowledge our board members, particularly our northern ones, Stefan Sunday and Janita Kapisi and David Ryan. It's great to have you in the house from LNI as well. And can I acknowledge our fantastic Northern Regional Chair, Grant Knight, who's doing a great job coordinating all of our efforts so that we can win this thing. And most importantly, I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to you for the incredible work that you do up and down this for the party, across the region and across the country. I also want to give a very special shout out, if I can, to my incredible, amazing team in Botany. Can I just say thank you for all that you do for me. I don't get to spend enough time with you as I wish, but they do a fantastic job helping look after all the people out in East Auckland. And can I acknowledge, as Sylvia did, all of our incredible MPs who are working incredibly hard in their communities and in Wellington to get New Zealand back on track, and also all the incredible new candidates that we have standing in 2026. And I want everyone, MPs and candidates, to stand up now, and let's show them properly our appreciation and give them a huge round of applause. Stand up, everybody. And I want you to look at all of that talent, because I want every single one of those people in our team after the election. Because I'm telling you, if we want a better future for New Zealand, these are the people that we want at the helm making the tough choices that is needed. And finally, but most importantly, can I acknowledge all of you, our electorate executives, our members, our volunteers, our greatest cheerleaders. It's absolutely fantastic, the contribution that you make. And it's going to be great to see Simeon Brown, our awesome campaign chair, and his team put you through your paces this afternoon as well. So thank you, Simeon, for your leadership and what you're doing for us as well. Because quite simply, we are going to ask a lot of you over the next few months because New Zealand needs a strong national party to help building a secure future. Look, I know the last few years have been incredibly difficult for New Zealand. We have faced shock after shock after shock. COVID, high inflation and a recession, extreme weather events, Trump's tariffs, and now we're dealing with a fuel crisis in the Middle East. And it can all feel pretty tiring and also overwhelming. And just about every time it feels like we're getting back on our foils, another wave comes along and knocks us right down again. And when you're a small trading nation like New Zealand, you actually feel those knocks twice as hard. But I also have to level with you, as I've said this week, the world is changing and we are at an inflection point, shifting from a world ordered by rules to one that's ordered by power. And as I said, countries are moving from working together under international law to much more transactional relationships without shared rules. And in this setting, stronger nations do as they please and smaller countries have to adjust. We see it with flagrant breaches of national sovereignty like Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine that illustrate that changing world order. And so there are forces in global politics that none of us can fully control. But here's the deal. Here's what we can control. How prepared we are, how resilient we are, and how well we stick together. And in a more volatile world, we must focus on controlling what we can control, and I'm telling you that starts here at home. It starts by strengthening our collective national security. It starts by making New Zealand a much, much stronger country. But in so many ways, I think we're already responding. We're working harder to develop our own domestic energy independence and security by ending the offshore oil and gas ban enacted by Labour and the Greens and New Zealand First, and clearing away a jungle of red tape to enable a real boom in energy through renewable energy, through fast track, RMA reform, and a range of other regulatory changes. And we're investing more in our defence force, allowing us to support both our own national security, but importantly the resilience of the wider region, the Indo-Pacific region that we're part of. And we've also been working incredibly hard to build out a lattice work of new trade arrangements and relationships, providing our New Zealand businesses with more export opportunities in a more volatile and uncertain world. And if you just take the work Todd McClay has done on that India FTA, which they said we couldn't do, and yet we did. It's a landmark agreement. It reduces or eliminates tariffs on 95% of our exports to India, on everything from lamb and wine to kiwi fruit, honey and infant formula. And in a more volatile world, it gives our exporters a shot at a new market, new customers, and a real chance to diversify our trade and to reduce our exposure to the risk of further disruption offshore. And as many of you in this room know, no responsible business owner would allow themselves to become locked in on just one or two customers only, without working around the clock to bring on board new work or new opportunities. And as a small trading nation, we've taken exactly that same approach. So that's why we've prioritised India, and it's why we'll keep deepening our ties offshore with old friends and new partners so that we can make sure that New Zealand stays secure. Of course, not everyone has agreed about the Indian FTA. The same people who were wrong on the China FTA and were wrong on TPP and are back opposing us on the FTA with India, I can tell you without doubt they are completely wrong again. Look, just a few months ago, I announced that this year's election would be on November the 7th. And I've also seen some journalists and commentators suggest in recent weeks that National and Labour could enter into a grand coalition. Yeah, I didn't think you'd like that idea. And I've got to say to those journalists and commentators, you need to get real, because our team has spent the last 2.5 years trying to fix the very mess left behind by the Labour Party. And that was inflation sitting at a 32-year high. It was debt skyrocketing. It was daily ram raids, remember those? It was co-governance of public services. It was reading and writing going backwards, and too many kids just not showing up at school at all. And worst of all, it was Labour trying to teach Kiwis that the solution to any and every problem is just quite simply to spend more, to tax more, to borrow more, and of course more government control of your life. Well, I'm telling you, New Zealand cannot go back, and New Zealand will not be going back to that. I know everyone here today came to fight for the values that each of us believe in, and Sylvia touched on it. Limited government, personal responsibility, lower taxes, and the importance of family and community. They are your values, they're my values, and importantly, they are National Party values. And we are the party that backs Kiwis getting up for early morning shifts at the milking shed. We're the party for the mums and dads on the school run. We're the party for the next generation, for a world-leading education and the best possible start in life, even if your teenager may grizzle a bit about losing their mobile phone in class. But we're the party that backs all Kiwis who are willing to put in some effort, the seasoned business owner and the teenager applying for their first job. So in the weeks ahead, as we start to lay out our party platform and policies for this year's election, you can expect to see on full display our party values. Policies that don't shy away from the tough decisions, but empower Kiwis to get ahead. And the message we need to get out to all New Zealanders over the next 6 months is pretty simple. If you want a stronger economy and a government focused on helping you get ahead, then it's quite easy. Party, vote, national. If you want lower taxes and you want balanced books and a smaller government, party, vote, national. If you want a more secure New Zealand with a government that cracks down on criminals and builds the defence forces we need for a modern world, then you've got to party, vote, national. And if you want real results in our schools and our hospitals and a government that achieves more with every single dollar, then it's pretty simple. Party, vote, national. Getting the hang of it, team. And if you want a government that will actually take responsible but tough decisions and stay focused on the issues that matter to you, that's right. What do we got to do? Party, vote, national. Exactly. And I remember addressing this very event in 2023 and saying that it was on every single one of us to ensure that National won the election. The country needed us, so every bit mattered. Every door knocked, every leaflet delivered, every chat with a neighbour over the back fence. And I've got to say, you got out and you delivered. And I know that our team in Parliament have spent every moment of the last 2.5 years driving change to repay the faith that you showed us. I just want to take a few examples. Look at Nicola Willis, getting the books in order so that we can deliver smaller government and reduce the pressure on inflation. Nicola has taken a razor to wasteful spending, including taking out $1 billion on Wellington consultants and contractors. We have delivered tax cuts for hard-working Kiwis for the first time in 14 years, saving 1.9 million households $60 a week, as well as, that's right, as well as the Family Boost childcare tax credit, which is now worth up to $120 per week. And we have helped increase New Zealand super for a married couple by $180 a fortnight since the election. And we know it's tough for Kiwis as we all deal with crisis after crisis. But that's why it's so important, more important than ever before, to have responsible economic management. Being able to withstand international shocks depends on the size of the economic buffers that we have. And National is rebuilding those buffers to restore our financial security, which in turn creates a stronger and more secure New Zealand in a more volatile world. Just look at Paul Goldsmith and Mark Mitchell, cracking down on criminals to restore law and order in our communities. Yep. It's funny how folk forget quite quickly, but 3 years ago, ram raids dominated the nightly news. Some of you will remember it well, right? Dairy owners were sleeping overnight behind their counters. Gangs were acting with impunity, brazenly wearing their patches in public and intimidating whole neighbourhoods and communities. And the previous government's answer was quite simple. Fewer people in prison, fewer consequences for crime, and more excuses for offenders. And the result was super predictable. Violent crime surged, retail crime exploded, and ordinary Kiwis paid the price. And that era is ending because Paul Goldsmith and Mark Mitchell are restoring law and order by doing what we should have always have done, backing our police, standing up for the victims, and making it clear that crime has real consequences. And so this government has banned gang patches in public. We have, We've given police stronger powers and put more officers out there on the beat. We've restored 3 strikes for the worst repeat offenders. We have capped sentence discounts so those judges can no longer slash penalties. And we've introduced tougher tools like move-on orders to clean up Queen Street and reclaim our central cities. And wouldn't you know it, when you stop making excuses for criminals and you start enforcing the law, it works. Serious violent crime is now falling fast. We have 49,000 fewer victims than when this government came into office. Youth offending is down 22%. Gang intimidation is being rolled back. And remember those daily ram raids that I talked about earlier? Well, ram raids are down an incredible 85%. Yeah. Now, they're just not abstract statistics. They are actually fewer smash shop fronts, they are fewer traumatised Kiwis, and they are fewer families now living in fear. Restoring consequences for crime is not about just being tough for the sake of it. It's about backing the police who put themselves in harm's way and standing on the side of victims, not offenders. It's about building a safer New Zealand to support greater social cohesion, which in turn creates a stronger and more secure New Zealand. So when I say you can expect to see our party values on full display in our election policies, don't take that as a vague promise with no plan. Take that as a commitment of an experienced and common sense team that knows how to get things done. A team that is again coming to you to say, we need your help. We need you because New Zealand needs us. And our country needs National to keep going, fixing the basics and building out the future. And I think nowhere has National values been more on display than in the work that Erica Stanford has been leading on education. So, she's going to hate it, but I want to embarrass her good and proper. And that means I want Erica to stand up. And actually, come on, Erica. And I also want Emma Chatterton to stand up as well from Papakura, our next great MP from Papakura. Because both of these fine women have done an incredible job on education. Yep, well done. And I want them to stay standing, actually. I told you I was going to embarrass you good and proper. I want them to stay standing because I want you just to think about what they've done in 2.5 years. We've banned the mobile phones in classrooms. We've implemented an hour of maths, an hour of reading, an hour of writing in every classroom in the country every single day. We've implemented structured literacy, which is one way, same way, every day way of teaching our kids across all our schools. We replaced the curriculum for 5 to 13-year-olds so that kids can learn the basics brilliantly. They've implemented a new teaching trial delivering 12 months of maths progress, 12 months of maths progress in just 12 weeks. We've got standardised reporting now for parents to better understand their child's progress as they move between classes and also between schools. And we've finally put an end to that failed experiment of barnyard or open plan classrooms, which is really fantastic. So what great achievements. Give them one final round of applause. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Education is how we literally secure New Zealand's future. Because when you think about it, better educated kids means that they can access higher paying jobs. That in turn creates more economic security, which in turn creates a stronger and more secure New Zealand. And every parent wants to know that when their child leaves school, they're going to walk out with qualifications that genuinely set them up for a great future. Every employer that I talk to wants to know that they're getting employees who are work ready and know the basics well. But our current qualification system for high school is not consistent. It's hard to navigate, and it doesn't give our kids and our prospective employers a clear indication of how that student has gone at school mastering the material. Too often, students have been able to gain piecemeal credits without developing the knowledge and skills that they need to succeed beyond school. And that's why National is replacing the NCEA as well. And today I can talk you through the new internationally benchmarked qualification that will replace it. It's called the Certificate of Education and the Advanced Certificate of Education. Erica's going to give you a lot more details after me, but let me take you through some of the real highlights. Gone is the ability to make up your overall qualification by choosing between thousands of different standards. Gone are fully internally assessed subjects. Gone is the ability to avoid exams. And instead, students will study at least 5 subjects and learn the curriculum for the whole subject. And for each subject you sit, we are bringing back something called grades. They go from A+ through to E. And this is, folks, about rewarding hard work and incentivising our kids to actually keep pushing themselves to keep striving to achieve their very best. And it makes the results easier for everyone else to understand. But at the heart of all of this is a very simple idea. We want our Kiwi young people leaving school with qualifications that are rigorous, that are credible, that are internationally comparable, and set them up for a successful future. I'm telling you, parents are ambitious for their kids, but I'm also telling you, National is ambitious for your kids too. And that's why under Erica's guidance, National is delivering the biggest reform to our education system in a generation to set our kids up for the brightest possible future. So well done again. Thank you. So in closing, members, I want you to make no mistake. This election, yet again, is a choice. And it's a choice between a team that is fixing the basics and building the future and an opposition with no plan, no delivery, and no idea how to pay for the promises that they're already making. And I am absolutely determined that on November 7, New Zealanders will choose to keep going forwards. But we need you, we need every single member in this room, knocking on those doors, delivering those pamphlets, having conversations over the back fence, and making the case to party vote National. So I just want to say to you, let's go to work again. Let's giddy up and make the case again, and let's get out there together. Let's go win this election, and let's build a New Zealand where every single Kiwi gets a fair shot at a better life, and our kids get the brightest possible future possible. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for all your support.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can I just say that every single year, 60,000 children start school in New Zealand. And the very best thing that we can do for them is to give them a world-leading education that will set them up for success. And that's why this government has embarked on one of the most ambitious programs of reform in New Zealand's history. It's defined by clarity, it's defined by pace, because we need to raise achievement. We have to close that equity gap after decades of decline and stagnation. And I am extraordinarily proud of the work that we've done in just 2 years. And can I just say thank you to the Prime Minister for your acknowledgement. But the fact is, without Christopher Luxon backing me, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. Thank you very much for your faith and trust in me. Of course, I couldn't have also done it without the cash, so I need to say thank you to the Minister of Finance for her backing and support all the way along as well. And it would be remiss of me if I didn't also acknowledge my right-hand woman, Emma Chatterton, who I have now delivered to the party, who's going to be the next MP for Papakura here with us today, who stood beside me this whole time. These reforms have been driven by transformational changes in the classroom, and those of you who have children or grandchildren in the education system, you will have seen it. The Prime Minister mentioned some of them, but structured literacy, in just 2 years, mandated in every single classroom. No longer do we look at the picture and guess the word, we sound them out. We've introduced phonics checks for our little wee tiny 5-year-olds at 20 weeks and 40 weeks to make sure they're on track with their learning and we can intervene early when they're falling behind. We've rolled out structured mathematics. Every single child in primary and intermediate has a maths book, a workbook, a textbook, and the teacher has a teacher guide right across the country. We've introduced writing and maths acceleration tutoring to make sure those young people who are more than a year behind catch up to where they need to be. In just 2 years, we've delivered the new maths and English curriculum being taught in our classrooms from term 1 last year. And by the end of this year, we will have refreshed every single curriculum area from year 0 to 13. Now, I just want to put that in perspective, because Labour did one strand of one curriculum in 6 years. We've done it all in 2 years, and I'm enormously proud of that. We invested $750 million into a transformational learning support budget. We've overhauled school property, investing more in maintenance for our school property in 2 years than Labour did in 6 years. Now, I tell you, it's not just more, It's more than double that they did in 6 years and we did it in 2, because we believe in maintaining the stock that we've got to make sure that your kids are learning in warm, safe, dry classrooms. But I want to tell you about the thing I'm the most proud of. The battle that we have won about the importance of a nationally consistent assessment right across our system. We campaigned, and you may remember it, we campaigned in 2023 to introduce twice yearly consistent assessments from year 3 to 8 in reading, writing and maths, because parents deserve clear information about how their children are going, and we have delivered it. Right now, in classrooms across New Zealand, students are sitting those assessments through either PAT, you may remember those, I did them when I was a kid, or the new freely available smart assessment tool that our government has introduced. And I am incredibly proud that schools are choosing smart. More than 300,000 students in primary school, out of a total of about 360,000 intermediate and school primary school children, have already been entered into the smart system and are being assessed right across New Zealand. Now, if 3 years ago, just take yourselves back 3 years ago, if someone said to you that New Zealand would have successfully introduced a nationally consistent assessment for every child twice a year in year 3 to 8 in reading, writing and maths, you would have been laughed out of the room. Because we were in the grip of a progressive education experiment that didn't believe in assessment, making sure that parents knew where their kids were at. But we have delivered it, and I'm extraordinarily proud of that. It is a reality. Parents are going to start to see clearer reporting in their report cards that actually show how their children are progressing and achieving in school subjects, because assessment matters, clear expectations matter, which brings me to today's announcement. What a great segue. We are serious about lifting achievement in our schools, and that's why we have to have qualifications that properly recognise that achievement, that are rigorous, credible, internationally comparable, that genuinely prepare our young people for what they're going to face when they leave school and study, work and life. And the Prime Minister mentioned the problems with NCEA, hard to understand, compartmentalised, way too easy to game, more about credit crunching than actually making sure that you're progressing through a curriculum that sets you up for life. So I put together a professional advisory group, a technical advisory group, a curriculum advisory group, all around me to make sure that we would come up with something that was credible to set our kids up for success. And earlier this year, we confirmed the replacement of NCEA with the new national qualifications in year 12 and 13. Today, we can confirm some of the detail. In 2028, NCEA Level 1 will be removed, and students will begin taking the new foundational award in literacy and numeracy, a requirement as part of the new qualification. In 2029, Year 12 students will begin the new New Zealand Certificate of Education, or NZCE. In 2030, Year 13 students will take the New Zealand Advanced Certificate, or NZACE. Students in Year 12 and 13 will study at least 5 subjects each year, with a pass of a minimum of 3 subjects required to achieve the qualification. But I want to show you how it will look, because this is really important. The number of subjects passed will be clearly outlined. You can see there at the top where it says NZCE5 if you've passed 5 subjects. For example, NZCE4, NZCE5, and if you're a keen bean, see NZCE6 or maybe even NZCE7. It's designed to reward hard work and to encourage students to strive to achieve more, and the certificate will recognise that effort. And as you can see, the A through E grades just like they use at Polytech and university. And students who achieve excellent grades, who pass all 5 subjects, are recognised with an endorsement for their outstanding performance across both academic and vocational subjects. And you can see that across the top there, awarded with distinction for this amazing student who got 3 A's. We want young people to know that effort matters, achievement matters, and your excellence and hard work will be recognised. Every subject is going to include both internal assessments and, importantly, an external examination. And the balance of that will vary depending on the nature of each subject. Of course, you can imagine in some subjects, like performance music, there would be more more balance put, or more weight put on a performance than perhaps an exam, but that detail will be worked through. Again, this is about credibility, it's about consistency, and ensuring qualifications properly reflect what students know and can do. And alongside the new qualifications, we're also modernising and strengthening what students will actually learn. Now, it may surprise many of you to know we do not have a senior secondary curriculum. It doesn't exist. What teachers teach is in the standard. They teach to the assessment in NCEA at the moment. Our new qualification is supported by a knowledge-rich, internationally benchmarked, nationally consistent curriculum that we've had to deliver. They've been developed by subject experts, heads of departments from schools across New Zealand, benchmarked internationally and aligned with tertiary and industry expectations. And they include amazing new subjects like advanced mathematics, civics, politics and philosophy, journalism, media and communication, statistics and data science, and primary industry. Subjects that reflect the modern world, support critical thinking and open up new pathways to future careers. An important change is also from 2028. Science will become compulsory at year 11 alongside English and mathematics. Science is so important, it gives young people incredible foundational knowledge about the modern world and opens up pathways to some of the most exciting careers and futures, and in an increasingly technological and innovation-driven world, making science a core part of every student's education matters. But importantly, these changes will be carefully phased in. They've been well thought through with the groups of principals that I have around me. Students currently in Year 9 will be the first cohort to progress through the new future qualification system. My son will just miss out by 1 year. Those young people will move through secondary school with a knowledge-rich curriculum that is nationally consistent, learning the same thing no matter where you go to school. English at Rangitoto College will be the same as English down at Burnside and Christchurch. And these young people will have that nationally consistent curriculum. They'll build stronger foundations and be assessed by qualifications that properly recognise the achievement that they have made and prepare them for the future. And that's what this is all about. Ensuring that every single one of those 60,000 children, those 5-year-olds that start school this year, benefit from a world-leading education system that we have designed, that we have funded, and that we have delivered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erica. That was amazing. I'm almost tempted to go back to school, but almost. We now resume the AGM, and so this is a closed session, so we invite the media to exit stage left, please.
You out of your comfort zone at all, or were you just
Didn't
stoked?
you just hear that? Like, whispering and stuff. It's like, I think that's why I like working with Jolie, is because I've done everything I can do, like in the rap stuff. Now it's time to kind of approach it more on the R&B poppy end, like process wise. But obviously at the end of the day, it's still going to be the diggy vocal and the diggy feel. It's just in a different context.
Yeah,
know
and
what I mean?
I guess it's a thing too, you know, you can kind of have those pop or like funk sensibilities in there,
Yeah.
but the thing that will always bring it back is your voice and your delivery.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always going to be a rap album, no matter what.
We're going to throw it back to 2018 with the song you're going to play last for us today. It's Trust from Island Time. Before
Yeah.
you guys play it though, you know, looking back on that album and the early days, what have you learnt about yourself and your process?
I think it's the process itself that's the main goal. It's not what's the result. It's always the journey and who you pick up along the way and what you learn. And man, that was the first time I got nominated, VMAs. And we pulled up with the whole team. went crazy, and we're still here. 5th norm.
How good.
I know.
Yeah. And what about you, Choice Vaughan? You've been doing this for a long time with lots of different people across so many different kaupapa. How's that process like evolved and changed for you over the years?
I think it's been just me forcing myself into situations where I'm not comfortable because I know that that's where I'm going to go. A part of that, like an example of that is signing up to the APRA Song Hub songwriting camp, where you have to be in a room with people you've never met and make a song and play it to everyone at the end of the day. Like, that was terrible.